Today is another episode of me rating your Diamond Dynasty teams in MLB The Show 22. So if you're excited for this one, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit that subscribe if you're new. I would greatly appreciate it. If you do not know how to have a chance to be featured in one of these episodes, make sure to go follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, and DM me 2 pictures, one of your starting lineup, one of your pitching staff, and make sure to go follow me over on Twitch, where sometimes I actually rate teams live on my stream. So make sure to go follow me over there, live streaming a ton of MLB The Show 22 content. But I hope you enjoy the video, and let's get it.
Minika, watch me on Twitch, ooh, I'm streaming. I'm on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, red button beaming. Let's get that sub count, take over YouTube, ooh, we teaming. My content so hot, ooh, yeah, I'm steaming. Ooh, yeah, I'm steaming. Red button beaming.
All right, so it is time to rate 5 more of your Diamond Dynasty teams. If you don't know how to be featured in one of these episodes, I pick 5 random teams every single episode. What you need to do is head over to my Twitter or Instagram. Both of those links will be in the description down below. I pick a couple teams from Twitter, pick a couple teams from Instagram, DM me 2 pictures, one of your starting lineup, one of your pitching staff, and then I rate that team on a scale of 1 to 10. Rate the offense, rate the bullpen, rate the rotation, and give you my suggestions. Obviously, you don't have to take them. I'm just going to let you know what I like about the team, what I don't like about the team, if it's perfect, if it's not very good. But the first team comes from Green Up on Twitter. Here we're going to jump straight into things. We have the new Eddie Matthews, 93 overall at third base, new David Justice in left field. We have Corey parallel 3, Jose Ramirez 91 overall parallel 3, the Albert Pujols rookie of the year card, probably the best first baseman in the game, even better than Frank Thomas in my opinion. Ali behind the plate, top 3 catcher in the game. Luis Robert, very underrated in center field, really like that. And then Kirk Gibson, probably the best primary left fielder besides Albert Pujols, who you're going to use at first base in the game. So I really like the team. There's a very good Diamond Dynasty team. Honestly, not a ton of things I would change here. Jose Ramirez at second base, love that play. Probably one of the best secondary second basemen in the game. Obviously, if you can get Chase Utley, that would be the only improvement, honestly, I would make from Jose Ramirez. Ali Rutschman behind the dish, top 3 in the game, but I do think Gary Carter and Joe Mauer are better, but it is extremely difficult to get those cards. They do cost a lot, so whenever you can upgrade, you can. Eddie Matthews, probably a top 3 third baseman in the game. David Justice is solid. I would say there's some live series cards better than David Justice. Obviously, Mike Trout, Ronald Acuna Jr. is very good. Then we have some of the face of the franchise cards that are solid as well. That might be better than David Justice or very close to him. Brian Reynolds, very good. The 90 Trout is very good as well. Then we have some collection cards. Grady Sizemore, AL Central you can get if you want. You already have Jose Ramirez, so it's not going to cost you a ton to finish the American League Central. He's the most expensive card in that entire division, but I really like the offense. Just nitpicking here, it's a very good team. I am going to give the offense a 9.2 out of 10. Then we are going to have the pitching stats. So we have the rotation and we have the bullpen. Rotation looks solid. You have Keuchel, Corbin Burns, both top 5 pitchers in the game in my opinion. Stroman probably borderline top 15. Oral Hershiser right inside the top 10. The new Carlos Carrasco 93 overall prime headliners card. Honestly, haven't used the card. Don't know how good he is, but the stats don't look great. Doesn't have a great pitch selection here. So I'd probably say he's probably a top 15, top 20 pitcher in the game as well. So there is room for improvement here. When you want to upgrade, you get more stubs, get some better cards. I do like the Logan Webb face of the franchise card, maybe over the Carrasco and probably over the Marcus Stroman as well. The other 3 guys though, top 10. You can upgrade when you get more stubs, but it's a very solid starting rotation. Going to give it an 8.8 out of 10. And then we have the bullpen here. We have Dibble, Lefty Grove, Emmanuel Clase, Devin Williams, Aroldis Chapman, Mo 91 overall, Steve Cishek, Zach Britton. Very good bullpen here. I would say probably get rid of Lefty Grove. I think there's better lefties in the game than Lefty Grove. I'd rather go Billy Wagner, John Franco, honestly Aaron Loop's live series card over Lefty Grove. Jose Alvarado from the Tampa Bay Rays collection, not the biggest fan of that card. Dibble is a great gold card as well for the bullpen. You have a very good bullpen. Your rotation was solid, your offense was great. I'm gonna give the bullpen a 9.4 out of 10. So overall, gonna give your team a 9.2 out of 10. All right, next team up is from Carson, and Carson, it looks like he has almost every single card on the team parallel 4. You see all that red glow. We have Seager, Pujols, Chisholm, Josh Bell, Mike Trout, Luis Robert, all parallel 4. Then we have a great card in Kirk Gibson, we talked about with the last team, and we have that Gary Carter that's a little bit better than Ali Rutschman. So this team also very good. One of the quick suggestions I would make here, probably take Albert Pujols away from the hot corner. Not good enough defensively to play third base in my opinion. Probably would put him at first base, move Josh Bell to the bench, then maybe go ahead and get Jose Ramirez, Eddie Matthews. You can even use Ernie Banks, Francisco Lindor at the third baseman spot. Some other third basemen as well. If you can get the AL West done, get Troy Gloss. I think there's better third baseman options defensively than Albert Pujols to use, because the way you have it right now, that left side of the infield, too much defense liability there with Corey Seager not being great, Pujols not being great. So get a better defensive third baseman that can still rake at the plate like those guys I just named. Move Pujols over to first base. Josh goes to the bench. Corey and Jazz could work as your middle infield. Gary Carter at the catcher spot, top 2 catcher in the game. Very, very good. If you want to get Mauer at some point, you can, but Gary Carter will get it done for a long time in this game. Very good card. The outfield, Kirk Gibson, probably the best left fielder primary, like I said last time, besides Albert Pujols, but Albert Pujols you're really not going to use in the outfield. Kirk is much better in the actual outfield than Albert. I would use Albert at first base. Then Robert, Trout, face of the franchise cards, 2 very underrated face of the franchise cards and cards in general in the game. Really like that. You do have some room for improvement in the outfield when you want to upgrade Robert and Trout, but it's very solid right now. You could upgrade Seager and Jazz when you want as well, but it's a very good offense. I am going to give it a 9 flat out of 10. So the offense was great. Rotation, bullpen looks excellent as well. DeGrom, Keuchel, Hershiser, Max Scherzer, Corbin Burnes, all these guys are in the top 10. Burnes in the top 5, Keuchel in the top 5, DeGrom in the top 5 in my opinion. Hershiser, Scherzer towards the back end of the top 10, but still top 10 pitchers in the game right now. We do need some better starting pitchers in the game in general, but these are really good for what we have in the game right now. So I am going to give the rotation a 9.6 out of 10. And the bullpen, we have the new Victor Arano, Devin Williams, Class A Mo as well, Cishek, Chapman, Britton, and then we have Josh Hader. You have the 3 best lefty relievers in the entire game in your bullpen. Cishek, I love that card. Mariano Rivera is excellent. Class A is great. Devin Williams is solid. I would say you could do better than Victor Arano. There's a couple cards better than him, but the bullpen is excellent. Not going to let that hold you back. I'm going to give this bullpen a 9.4 out of 10. So overall, going to give your team a 9.4 out of 10. Okay, final Twitter team before we go ahead and move on to Instagram here. We've done 3 on Twitter, including this one. The quality of this picture actually really good. Sometimes the Twitter pictures, the screenshots, even though I know they're great on your guys' end, sometimes they just pop up all pixelated. This one's super clear. We have Tommy Edman at third base. Interesting play. Very underrated face of the franchise card. Great defense. Can play a lot of different positions. We have the Cap at shortstop. We have Ray Durham at second base. We have Prince at first. Gary at the catcher spot. David Justice, Eric Davis, Kyle Tucker in the outfield. So a lot of cards you don't see too much. Gary Sanchez, top 3, top 4 catcher in the game. Right behind Adley in my opinion. Great power, especially if you're not playing a Hall of Famer legend. He's an all-star beast with that 96 power against righties, 111 against lefties. Really like the Sanchez play. Tommy Edman at third base. When I take into account secondaries, probably put him like the top 8, 9 third baseman in the game, so there is better options, but if you're doing good with Tommy, switch-handed bat, really good contact, stay with that. Cap, if you want to use a cap, obviously completely up to you. I personally don't use a cap, but that's completely cool. Keep doing that. We have Ray Durham at second base. Top 3, top 4 second base in the game. Plays above the stats in my opinion. Way more power than the stats actually say. Switch-handed bat, which is great. Really solid swing. The Ray card is really good. Prince Fielder, probably a top 5 first baseman in the game. Good swing. Lefty bat. Really solid infielder. Really like it. Couple of changes I would make. If you want, go check out my top 10 rankings list for some of these positions. Then we have the outfield. David Justice, Eric Davis, Kyle Tucker. So I definitely think there's better options in the outfield. That Eric Davis, not the biggest fan of because he has really good lefty splits, but you're going to see a lot of better righties in the game than lefties. So I would go ahead and get somebody better with better righty hitting splits than Eric Davis has, but he's a solid card, solid defense, solid speed if you want to keep rolling with him. Then we have Kyle Tucker in right field, probably a top 4 right fielder primary in the game, but I think there's some better center fielder face of the franchise cards that are better than Kyle Tucker. I think Haniger is better as well. Then we have the live series and collection cards that are better than Kyle Tucker, but the offense is very solid. I am going to give it an 8.6 out of 10. So the offense, definitely very solid. The rotation and the bullpen definitely could use some work at first glance here. So we have Casey Mize, Corbin Burnes, Garrett Cole, Mark Pryor, Rodon. Casey Mize, I think he's BP. Not my favorite card in my opinion. Probably borderline top 20 starting pitcher in the game. Same thing for Garrett Cole. His pitch selection as a Yankees fan pains me to put Garrett Cole that low, but his pitch selection isn't great. Doesn't have outlier. Never really liked Garrett Cole cards. His stats are never very good. Mark Pryor, honestly, this card's a little underrated. He's extremely nasty with his movement. Doesn't throw the ball super fast, but the movement on his slurve, his changeup really had me fooled, and his curveball in a game I played against him recently. So that card's a little underrated in my opinion. Then we have Rodon, who I also think is BP, lefty. I think he's very easy to hit. Not the best pitcher in the world, so I would try to get rid of Mize, Garrett Cole, Rodon. Burnes is very, very good. Pryor, there are better options, but he is a little underrated. So I would try to get rid of Mize, Cole, and Rodon first, then Mark Pryor. So I will give the rotation a 7 7.8 out of 10. And then the bullpen, we have Raleigh Fingers, Jose Alvarado, Joe Nathan, the Lee Smith, Rob Dibble, Hader, Chapman, Liam Hendricks. The only guys I really like in this bullpen is going to be Jose Alvarado, Dibble, Hader, Chapman. Go ahead and get Class A. Go get Devin Williams. Very cheap face of the franchise card. Your lefties are very good in the bullpen. Chapman, Hader, Jose Alvarado. Very, very good. Those are the lefties I have in my bullpen right now. Your righties need work though. I would replace Raleigh Fingers, Nathan, Lee Smith, and Liam Hendricks. Rob Dibble can stay because he does have that 102 mile per hour four-seam fastball. Go watch my bullpen rankings list. There's a lot of great righty bullpen arms you can get that aren't very expensive. I am going to give the bullpen a 7.5 out of 10. So overall, I am going to give this team about an 8.1 out of 10. All right, so we're moving to Instagram now for team number 4 of the episode, and we have Justin on Instagram, who has a cap at the catcher spot: LeBron James, Rafael Devers, Ernie Banks, Francisco Lindor, Josh Bell, Cedric Mullins, Luis Robert, Ronald Acuna Jr. So a lot of the face of the franchise cards that are still very good in the game, though, I have to say. I would get rid of the Acuna. The contact against righties just too low for my liking here. Never been a big fan of Acuna's swing also in game. So I do think there are better options than Acuna in the outfield. Really like Mullins' swing, pretty solid defensively this year. Robert, great defensively, great against lefties, very solid against righties. Cool with the outfield. I would probably try to replace Acuna though when you can. Devers is solid enough if you get him paralleled up defensively for the hot corner. Pretty solid arm. Ernie Banks, top 4 shortstop in the game. Great power shortstop, pretty solid defensively, and pretty solid speed for Ernie Banks. Lindor, glitchy swing, switch-handed bat, love that card. Josh Bell, same thing, switch-handed bat, pretty solid swing for the first baseman spot. So the team is solid all around. It's a very standard face of the franchise squad. And then you have Ernie Banks and a cap. So when you can upgrade, get some of the better live series cards, collection cards in the game, the athlete at the catcher spot, I would probably say that your team will improve. But as of right now, all around with the face of the franchise cards and the Ernie Banks, I'm going to give it an 8.4 out of 10. So the offense was solid. Now we move on to the rotation and the bullpen here. The rotation up first, parallel for Marcus Stroman. We have Corbin Burns, Logan Webb. Like all those guys, Webb and Stroman borderline top 15, top 10 pitchers in the game. Not the biggest fan of Bob Gibson. No outlier, no crazy great pitch selection. Not a very good card in my opinion. He takes way too long to throw the ball as well. When he gets a card with outlier, that card will be better, but I'm not a fan of this 90 overall version. Walker Buehler gives up too many foul tips, but he does have a great pitch selection. He does have great break on his baseball, so there's a solid budget live series diamond in the game. So I like Burns, Webb, Stroman. You probably can improve on Webb and Stroman. Corbin Burns is great. Bob Gibson, Buehler, definitely can improve on those guys. Gonna give the rotation a 7.5 out of 10. And then the bullpen, we have Joe Nathan, who I'm blocking right here with my camera. Then we have Ottavino, the new Michael King, that's disgustingly gross. Jose Alvarado, Class A Chapman, Devin Williams, Cishek. So these cards are really good in the bullpen besides Nathan, in my opinion. Ottavino, funky release, really good per nines. That's Michael King, movement is filthy. Alvarado, Chapman, really good lefties, but you need another lefty. You only have 2 in your bullpen. Go out and get the Josh Hader's really good. John Franco's really good. A lot of great lefties in the game. You need to get at least 1 more into your bullpen. Really like the Cishek, the Class A, the Devin Williams. So I think this bullpen is really solid. I am going to give it an 8.4 out of 10. There is room for improvement in the bullpen with some of the better relievers in the game, but I think the bullpen is solid. The offense is solid. Main problem right now is your starting pitching. I'm going to give the squad an 8.3 out of 10. All right, final team of the episode going to come from Matthew Dillon on Instagram. If you didn't get picked in this episode, do not worry. We're going to be doing a ton throughout the entire year. We drop about 2 episodes every single week, 1 on Wednesday, 1 on Sunday, and also come by the Twitch stream because I rate some teams live on my stream, and if I don't have time to actually look at the pictures, you can drop your team in the chat and I'll tell you what I think about it, what you should change, what you should keep. So make sure you're coming by the Twitch stream. It's a ton of fun. But the final squad definitely could use some work. We have a lot of free cards. Seiya Suzuki, Brandon Mars, the new Willie Adames. We have Jackie Robinson's 88 overall card, couple face of the franchise cards. Then we have Juan Soto in right field. So a team that definitely could use some work. Definitely would like to upgrade Willie Adames when I can. His contact and power against righties though, very underrated. Is a very underrated tops now card, so he's great for a no money spent team. If you're on a budget, you don't have a lot of stubs to go out and get some of the better live series face of the franchise cards, he will get it done. Seiya Suzuki at shortstop, interesting play. That will work. Really solid, well-rounded card. That is solid enough. Second base for Jackie will work right now. He's not great against righties. He's okay against lefties. So it's a solid card once again for a no money spent squad just getting started, but you definitely want to improve on Jackie Robinson. Realmuto at first base. I assume you got Carson Kelly and Realmuto Soto in your non-sellable face of the franchise packs, which is unfortunate because I don't like either of those cards, honestly. Don't like Kelly. Don't like this Realmuto card. They both swing a dead bat, in my opinion. Kelly's a good bench bat against lefties. That's about it, though. Really don't like either of those cards, so I would definitely try to get a better budget first baseman that has some serious power. Someone like Jared Walsh, Joey Votto is very good. CJ Cron is very solid. The Josh Bell is solid as well. Someone on a budget with good power, good stats against both sides. That's what I would want for my first baseman spot, and they're not very expensive. Catcher, on the other hand, you might have to spend a good amount of stubs. For somebody like Salvador Perez, you can go out and get some of the other face of the franchise cards like Sean Murphy. Save up for that prospect collection and go ahead and get somebody like 91 overall Adley Rutschman as well. So that's the infield. Then we have the outfield. We have the Marsh, Tucker, Soto. Soto is great in right field. No complaints there. But if you're going to use Soto in the outfield, you need somebody better defensively in center field to make up for the liability of Juan Soto in the field. And Kyle Tucker playing center field, not going to get it done. Not enough speed in the outfield. You need more defense in your outfield for sure. Juan Soto can bring the offense. So can Brandon Marsh. Get somebody like face of the franchise, Byron Buxton, Luis Robert, Mike Trout, somebody that can fly around the outfield, be good defensively, and also really solid offensively. So I maybe would move Kyle Tucker to left field, get somebody better defensively for center field, and then keep Juan Soto in right field. But the offense is okay. If you're no money spent, you're just getting started. Not a bad squad. Gonna give it a 6.4 out of 10. So the offense was okay. We definitely have some room for improvement here, but we have Manoah, Stroman, Miguel, Carlos Rodon, and I believe that's Mackenzie Gore, right, as your number 5 starter. So Manoah's solid enough. Stroman as well. If those are your non-sellable face of the franchise cards, keep rolling with them. The McGill, Rodon, and the Gore, not the biggest fan of those cards. Use them for now to keep your diamond rotation going, but I actually think you can get somebody like Lance McCullers if you want. Charlie Morton's really good. Syndergaard throws the ball really fast. Good budget gold cards that honestly might be better than some of these cards. McGill is not bad, but the Rodon and the Gore, not the biggest fan of those cards. Manoah, Stroman will get it done for now. I am going to give the rotation, I think it's better than your offense. I'm going to give it a 7 flat out of 10. Then we have the bullpen. We have David Price, Rob Dibble, Brian Wilson, Mo, Gallegos, never say his name right. Then you have some studs on the back end. You have Britton, you have Michael King, Emmanuel Clase. So the bullpen might be the best part of your team with David Price, with Britton. You could use one more lefty for sure. You only have 2. So if you can go out and get the budget Aaron Loop, you can do that. If you want to go ahead and get the face of the franchise, Aroldis Chapman, you can do that too. Or Jose Alvarado from the Tampa Bay Rays collection. That's not going to be super expensive. That would help your bullpen out a lot. But Clase is great. Dibble's very, very good. We have the Brian Wilson and Mo that will get it done for right now. So I think the bullpen is solid for right now. Michael King as well. Forgot to note him. So I think your bullpen's the best part of your team. Gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. Overall, gonna give your team a 7.1 out of 10. All right, everyone, that's gonna do it for this episode of me rating your Diamond Dynasty teams. If you didn't get featured, don't worry about it. Gonna be doing more episodes every single week. 2 episodes a week, 1 on Wednesday, 1 on Sunday. If you enjoyed the video and you found it useful, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you're new. I would greatly appreciate it, and I'll talk to you all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.